WCW's Sold Out 1998 from the 24th of January 1998. Took place in Dayton, Ohio. Pete, have you been to Ohio?
No. It looks cold. It looks cold, Mark.
Does it? This is, Pete, a hot old crowd, isn't it?
It really is. And I think you can tell from the outset that Bischoff he's obsessed with the nWo, and everything else can just go fuck itself.
But
the people are so hot for it, whatever they throw at them.
They are. And the thing about, I think as time has gone on, it's become clear that Eric Bischoff had a brilliant idea with the nWo. And it may have been the only idea. I think he struggled with everything else. But look, he came up with an idea that sold like gangbusters. Think of the nWo shirts that are still selling today. I think they're still like the number 3 or 4 most sold item on the WWE shop.
Right.
He came up with an angle which is legendarily good. Did he do anything else? Hard to say. Hard to say. No idea really why they went for this name either. Sold Out. It's a pun, but not a pun that relates to anything.
I thought you were going to tell me what this means. Why?
The year before, they launched this pay-per-view as an nWo produced pay-per-view.
Yes.
And the nWo was so hot that they were like, the nWo are in charge of all the matches. And it was a disaster. It was awful. They had a thing where the nWo were like, hey, we won't play anyone's theme tune, but we'll play our one. And you're just stuck in a loop of listening to that song all the time. And the commentators were nWo affiliated. So you'd get, I don't know, someone would come down to the ring and they'd just be going, look at this big piece of shit. You know, it was so depressing to watch. It was just a disastrous thing. So the next year, this year, they sort of just go, it's just a normal one, don't worry about it.
Well, it's in collaboration with the nWo, isn't it? Yeah,
that's right.
Companies getting it's the forbidden door.
Oddly, just as a weird little bit of trivia that I like, this is one of only 3 of WCW's pay-per-views in 1998 that wasn't released on video in the US, but it did get an official VHS release in the UK for some reason. So
that's a weird quirk.
But again, Pete, WCW, they didn't release this on video. That's where all the money is. and they just sort of, they miss off 3. They don't, 3 of them, they just go, I can't work it out. You know, this is such a big revenue stream at the time that it's absolutely perplexing decisions that are mad. This is a show that nobody really talks about, by the way, and it is a show that the first 4 matches are absolutely as good as anything that you had at the time in WCW or WWE to kick off a show. So much fun. It starts off with Bischoff standing in a haunted house. Absolutely no reason for doing that.
To start with, Bischoff is like, I don't know what, he is on something at the moment. He's had his idea and he's having a lovely time, and things aren't going amazingly well in the corporate environment of the old Turner Enterprises, but he's having a lovely old time. He's front and centre and he's just trying stuff out.
I am ruler, dictator, king. I am Eric Bischoff. I'm building the greatest empire. It's not just nWo, it's life. I'm looking for more souls to buy.
He is, and in fairness to him, he does try and go, what does this sold out thing mean? So it cuts to him and he goes, I'm building an empire. I'm looking for more souls to buy. Hell hath no fury like sold out. Sponsored by Snickers. But hell hath no fury like sold out. It doesn't mean, it's just, they're sort of 80% there, but they need someone to go, what I'm going to do is a logic pass on this. I'm going to see if any of it makes sense. The big angle they do, considering this is basically sold on 2 main events. The main events were Randy Savage taking on Lex Luger and Bret Hart making his pay-per-view debut against Ric Flair. And they don't mention that in the opener in any way. They have a big thing about Kevin Nash is going to be fined if he doesn't turn up and take part in this match. You'll remember at Starrcade, he was supposed to face the Giant and didn't. And this whole thing as well, this slight blending into reality and the behind-the-scenes stuff that begins to dominate. The fact that they ignore the 2 main events to do something about, will Kevin Nash be a professional and turn up, or are we going to have a... You begin sort of going, I can see all of the things that are going to ruin this 2 years down the line. I can see all the little seeds here as they begin to go, do you know what's fun about wrestling? It's about people behind the scenes being difficult to work with.
Like everyone's being a professional. Why don't we put that in the ring? No, let's not. Let's just have people turn up on time and you make our road agents just have a nicer time of things.
And telling people as well that if you don't come to work, you go, next pay-per-view we'll do a big thing about, will you turn... Great, fantastic. I'm going to steal all of this camera equipment equipment and I'm going to sell it.
Mark Merrow going, I would never do any of this. I will turn up on time. And
here he is, fucking Merrow, sucking
Merrow
up.
on
Not
time.
like Kevin Nash is sitting at home, not coming in and lying about it. He's
watching
cool.
basketball.
Tony Schiavone is genuinely surprised they're sold out. He can't hide his surprise about that. Sold out, literally sold out. These tickets were sold out 4 hours after they went on sale in one day. He says. He's sitting there with Dusty as well. Dusty and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Heenan, you know, unchanging, always reliable Heenan. Dusty looking a little bit like a madman you see in a shopping centre. He's got a denim shirt buttoned up all the way to the top. He's got a
Just off to the library. I'm just off to the library. I go get some bread. Oh,
you
God.
can't go in there. You can't go in there. That's a W.H. Smith's. You can't go in there. He's got
yeah. All right, Dave. Yeah, fine.
Wrestling hat on, and he's got tinted glasses on. Tinted glasses in Britain are such a sort of, you're either a racist cabbie or you're a bit mad.
It's Mike Reed. He's got the Mike Reed vibes going on.
Racist cabbie.
Racist cabbie.
Off they go. Schiavone just says, as you know, the title is vacant. And I really thought to myself, oh my God.
You're going into a show and there's just nobody with the belt. So what am I watching? A man just picking up a belt that's owned by nobody. Brilliant.
Yes.
Well done.
The belts have been the backbone of this industry for a century by this point. And for some reason, WCW go, it would be really good if we took the belt out of the equation and just began just throwing it about. And when those bits happen, it's amazing how quickly it's gone from Starrcade 97, where it felt like they made one big mistake that was either a genuine mistake or something that Hogan did. And definitely it was something that Hogan did. Or by the time you get to here, you go, oh my God, they're putting in all those bits that we will end up loathing and that will destroy. That fascination with going, oh, what is real? And, you know, where's the fourth wall? And just wrestle a fucking match. You can see in the crowd at this point when they do a big shot that there's someone has brought at least 5 foot tall Hogan doll they've made at home out of stockings and wadding.
I did not see this, but that's disgusting.
It was appalling. They used to be a shop on the Holloway Road about back in the day when London shops, somehow you could get them for like £100 a year.
Yeah, and you'd sell puppets.
Exactly what this one did. It was Chris Jericho taking on the WCW Cruiserweight Champion Rey Mysterio.
Oh, I love seeing Rey Mysterio pre-contact lenses.
Yeah.
Little raisins in that mask. Lovely.
And he really is like different here. He's sort of teenage slender in a way that he would obviously bulk up over the years. I mean, this is okay.
Yeah.
And it's really odd that a match between Mysterio and a young Jericho, you'd have the reaction to sort of going, okay, well...
Yes, yeah.
Part of that was because Mysterio himself was legitimately injured. He had to take time off after this for surgery. So he couldn't do any high flying in this match. And what you rely on is Jericho to sort of get himself over as a bad guy. So previously he's always been a sort of white meat babyface. Now they're doing him like he's arrogant and basically the same thing he'd do for the rest of his career. And it relies on whether or not you think Jericho is good at that or not. Right. And I really, really watched this, and Jericho, and I felt it when I first began watching him, I just feel he lacks something. And what it is he plays the role of a bad guy, but he isn't actually a bad guy. And so rather than sort of be natural and convincing, like, for example, I don't know, Cowboy Ron Bass, a big old mean dude. Jericho, it just feels like he's playing the role of professional wrestler. And I've never really shaken that over the years. There's always, when he shouts like, come on, baby, like that, I always just sort of go, it just doesn't convince me.
It's that kind of half acting that they do in like TV shows like Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
You know, where it's just filmed as a mockumentary anyway, but like they just always look like they're just having a piss about.
Yeah. And do you know what it is, Pete? It's sort of bad acting. And you do see a lot of bad acting. You know, my wife's been really into, what is it? Silence the Dead or something.
Yeah.
Amelia Fox.
Right.
But she does acting that is, you go, that's acting. But at no point do you go, and that is a realistic replica of what life is like. She sort of goes, yes, he did. Like that. And it's just weird in a way that no one speaks.
To be fair, her ex-husband, Jared Harris, is a bit like that, but I enjoy watching him a lot more.
I think she was also once married to Vic Reeves.
Oh.
In a surprising turn of events in the 90s. Anything went in the 90s, didn't it?
Yeah. Wild.
But I find Jericho is just like a slightly sort of... It isn't like real life. And so many people in wrestling, you could say that Hulk Hogan isn't like in real life, sure, but he also does something else that's very, very good and works. But he just seems just not convincing.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's sort of thinking about what he's going to do, and I find it really unconvincing. Funnily enough, his performance in the ring, the actual physical side of it, I think he does really well.
Good, yeah.
It's just he does a lot of... There's a bit where he sort of goes, "Don't boo me," right at the end, and they don't boo. And I went, that's sort of what it is you're saying lines that you don't know where they're going.
Panto.
Yeah,
It's a bit
slightly
panto.
that. And it's... With that one, I think most people would have gone, okay, there's not many boos, I'm not going to say that line. But Jericho
It
just does
powers
it.
through, yeah.
When there's no reaction to it, he just carries on to the next one. And I just find it
and yet nowadays
weird.
he's sort of seen as being, because he's quite available and he does those kind of cruises and stuff, which by the way, I have been watching a lot of sort of fan footage from those cruises, which would be terrible. But I do think we'd enjoy the actual wrestling itself, because it is just people pissing about.
When I think back to the guy who asked, "Is this a queue for my dinner?" When I think back to our WrestleMania where the guy sitting in front of us had not wiped his arse and his arse was out.
Yes, yeah.
I think, would I like to be stuck on a boat?
No.
With, even if 3% of the people there were those people, that seems like a
The
lot
other
of people.
97% would be Legionnaire's disease. That's just, it would have taken over.
You would pray for that. After the first buffet, you would pray to be taken by Legionnaire's disease. This match didn't really do it for me. Funnily enough, I was like, am I out of touch? And I did go online and people were like, oh, I really enjoyed this match. This is really, really good. And I just couldn't see it. I just couldn't see it. Maybe I get too annoyed by the Jericho thing. I don't know. How did you find it?
I didn't have a massive problem with it, but it didn't tick a huge amount of boxes. But I like Jericho's longevity, and I think he has been a very good worker. But I mean, I just think nowadays he just doesn't know what he is, and back here he certainly didn't know what he was. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, you're looking there at this match as well with two people who are still active and still going. And obviously, with Sting retiring recently and Sting being on this show, you do sort of realise, gosh, this is a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And it is incredible that they are still going. There's the bit that I like most about it is at the end, a security guard sort of picks up Ray, who's selling his injuries. And the guy sort of forgets that he's a human being. And he picks him up, he digs his hand into Ray's neck so hard, like when you're trying to get up on furniture. And you go, ugh! And he does it much, much too hard. And I was like, oh, that's one of those unfortunate things where you're just like, I've got to do this thing and I'm overthinking it. And I've forgotten that this is a human.
Yeah.
The mask probably didn't help. He's like, it's a dummy. I'm going to grip it by the neck.
A boy on Holloway Road.
Can't even leave the ring area. Ring area. Ring area. Ring area.
Really worth pointing out as well that the NXT after WrestleMania, they debuted a load of new people, including the former IWGP champion Evil.
Yes.
He popped out.
Yeah.
Not sure if they managed to get the trademark for the word evil yet, because they had to say, oh, it's a former IWGP champion. I can't believe he's here in NXT. And
Are they
it was very
waiting for
clear.
him to find a name for him, basically? Wow.
Possibly. Samurai Bob. And two of the people who debuted on that show, one was the former Rain Leverkusen, who is now Lizzie Rain.
Rock and roll! Rock and roll, baby!
heavy metal!
Rock and roll! Now, I, as a British person, naturally hate that fucking rock and roll voice.
Scream for the NXT! Lizzie Rain is bringing heavy metal tonight, and the world is about to find out that Lizzie Rain and heavy metal will never, ever die!
I imagine it goes down a lot better in America, so good on her. And fuck me, what a finisher. What a finisher.
Oh, it's called Thunderstruck. Thunderstruck! And
What a bit of work.
what a finisher that is. The jump up onto the knee and then kick them from the top.
Beautiful.
She never used that in Britain. I don't know where that's come from.
No.
Don't know where that's come from at all.
She's great.
But that
What a fantastic debut.
I mean, astonishing. The other person who debuted, they sort of had an unnamed attack where he did a moonsault.
Of course.
Someone who was already down in the ring.
Is that a fan? It's like, yeah, thanks for that.
Is that a fan from the crowd?
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh.
Thanks. Is that a fan from the crowd? Are you a fan from the crowd? Because that's how not to sell a fucking new wrestler, dickhead.
Unbelievable. It was also, there was a slight part of me that was going, you know, what they're trying to say is they were going, he's not muscly. You know, I know. Because a lot of the successful wrestlers over the history of wrestling, they haven't been, have they?
Big lads, haven't they? Big lads.
But that was Will Cruz. And Will Cruz, he's been I want to say a standout. People have now been effectively going, who is that guy? What's he doing? Why is his bum out? And they've been people have been sharing clips. People have been sharing clips, and he's a big, strong, fast, agile guy. He's a really good hand, and he's going to be big business. And it's lovely to see two people from the UK scene debut in WWE stroke NXT and make an immediate splash where people are like, they both look different, they're doing something, and their debuts have been great. And it did think to myself, I'm really glad for them. And I've seen both of them work live many, many, many times. And certainly with Lizzie Rain, I've seen her perform, and I've thought, I don't know why she's not higher up in the mix. And with Will Cruz, I've always been like, why is he always in match 3? Why is this guy not in the main event? But there's something there that you really sort of go, why are these people not at the head of British wrestling if they are NXT ready? And when they go to NXT, everyone goes, that was jaw-dropping. What is wrong with us that when we have that talent, we aren't going, and this guy is the future of the business, and you are going to see a lot of him, and he's going to be in all the big main events. And I'm happy for them, and I'm also a bit concerned about British wrestling, because I don't understand why those two people who immediately get over haven't been doing the same thing in Britain when they've been performing week in, week out. God, I hope both of them do incredibly well. They are both really good talents, and I think Lizzie Rain especially is going to go absolutely massive. I like the fact she goes, I've got a genuine connection with heavy metal, and that is that my uncle was Clive Burr, one of the original drummers in Iron Maiden. But in every interview she does, rather than sort of going, so the rock and roll spirit lives on in me, she tends to sort of go, I didn't know him that well. He passed away when I was 13. We'd only met on a couple of occasions.
Don't worry about it.
In fact, I didn't really understand he was in Iron Maiden, and I didn't really realise, in fact, we were related. Even when, it's like, oh, kid, please,
come on, Lizzie,
let's reel that in. Just say he can't say that didn't happen.
He's dead,
right?
man.
You've made that clear.
He's dead. Don't worry about it.
Say he gave you the drumsticks and he told you were going to be a wrestler.
Say he gave you a special medallion. Fucking hell, mate.
He dressed up as Eddie, the corpse. He used to help you do arm drags. You can say what you like. It's wrestling. No one tells the truth. Oh, man.
Up over Lizzie right now, trying to have a huge debut here on NXT.
Headbanger. And she's a headbanger, Vic.
8-man tag team match, yes, and 4 under Lucha Libre rules. Oh yes. This is a match between Juventud Guerrera, Super Calo, who has a little leather peaked cap on backwards, built-in fabric sunglasses on his mask. We've got Liz Mark Jr. and Chavo Guerrero Jr. taking on La Parka, El Dandy, Silver King, and Psychosis.
I could have watched like 3 hours of it. They were so good.
Believe how good these were, Pete. What a treat it was. Have we been starved of good wrestling? I don't know if we have.
In this era, possibly. But 8-man tags, nightmarish to administer. Turns out everyone's fucking brilliant. They all know what they're doing. And even in the chaos, there is beauty. And I don't know what it is about La Parka. I texted you in the week and I went, sorry, there's 2 La Parkas at LA Park and La Parka. I get confused because they fucking look the same. And that's just confusing.
They are the same.
They are the same.
But La Parka, the original here, is Spanish for the Reaper. He is the single most charismatic masked man of all time. I don't say that lightly.
In this. He's so, when I see La Parka anywhere, I feel relaxed about things. I think, good, we're going to see a good match. But he is dancing constantly. He's
amazing.
Constantly dancing.
He does a really good walk where he shakes his head up and down really quickly. And I was just going, this is brilliant. Hasn't even got to the ramp. And I'm already think this is the biggest star in the world. There's some bits he does in this match which are so phenomenal. I can't begin to tell you. There's a lovely bit where he's on the apron with Juventud Guerrera, and Juventud swings a punch at him and he swings one back, and then La Parka does a big swing at him and Juvi takes a step back and La Parka just falls flat on his face, and the whole place just to go whoa. And I watched that and I thought, I don't even know if that's something La Parka does very often. I don't think I've ever seen it before. La Parka, he was with AAA in Mexico. He left and they said, we own the gimmick, so they gave it to another guy. The La Parka gimmick was popularly believed to be cursed, and in fact, the second La Parka, he would die as the result of an in-ring accident. But the old La Parka became LA Park, which stood for La Authentica Park. He was the real one. But the two La Parkas did end up having feuds, and it was all very exciting. And he is still going, and he is still majestic. Watching him here, if you were in WCW and you'd have said, do you know what? We should put the world title belt on La Parka.
Yeah.
You would have heard no disagreement from me. And La Parka would now be remembered as one of the greats of all time.
Yeah.
He is so spectacular every time you see him. He's like Terry Funk in a weird way. Funny and violent, and he's big, so he does moves you aren't expecting as well. He's just wonderful. This is a match, Pete, that I could watch again and again and again and again. I watched it 3 times and I enjoyed it every single time. And I didn't do it because I was like, I better do it for the show. Did it because I saw it the first time and then I wanted to watch it again. And then I woke up the next day and thought I could watch that match again.
Watch that again. Delicious.
And I did. It's fun to see everyone. I mean, El Dandy, not a very dandy man.
No, he looks a bit like that Jack Black Lucha character that he played in that film.
He does. Interestingly, Silver King, he plays the villain Ramesses in
does he?
Libre. Yeah, he was the big bad guy. Everyone in here is super talented. The person who sort of sticks out slightly is Chavo Guerrero Jr. So Chavo was not a Mexican wrestler. He was from Texas. And he never came from that, if you like, lucha background, beyond the fact that his family were some of the greatest luchadors of all time. What's really noticeable is in this collection of all these people, the person who gets the pin is Chavo. The sort of vanilla
Americanized version
of the guys. That's right. But they're looking at that and saying, well, Chavo could be the next breakthrough performer to a Mexican audience. Not all of these guys who are already huge in Mexico and are competing at a much higher level.
Absolutely road tested. I mean, didn't we see Chavo Guerrero Jr. Fail to book a hotel room that time?
We did, yeah. He couldn't seem to understand that a hotel that's hosting a wrestling convention during WrestleMania could possibly not have rooms available for walk-ups.
Yeah, it's just like, can I book a room? There's no room. We are booked out from tits to teeth.
Remember, your grandma may not be with you at WrestleMania.
Chavo Guerrero. Old El Dandy, who I'm a big fan of. There's a lovely, horrible, harrowing, obviously, moment in his Wikipedia or something. At one point, Gutierrez suffered a serious back injury that left him unable to perform for 3 months. During this difficult time, he contemplated suicide on more than one occasion. 3 months!
3 months!
The man just cannot stop wrestling. He's out for 3 months.
You wouldn't sort of go, this is a relief, I can have a bit of a break.
No, I'm going to kill myself. Can't wrestle, I'm going to kill myself. Oh my God.
There's a nice bit where they're on the outside. There's a big sort of series where everybody does a flip over the ropes, which is the moment where the crowd are just like, this is phenomenal. What a hot crowd made hotter by this match. But there's a bit where El Dandy's on the floor and somehow Silver King has done something right and he's accidentally knocked a toy wrestling belt into the aisle. And El Dandy, he moves over and he glances at the belt and he just picks it up immediately. And again, now you know that thing about how important wrestling is to him. If he sees a title belt, even if it's a toy one, he's like, gotta have it, gotta hold it up. He's straight there. The match itself is just brilliant. Lucha Libre rules are slightly different from normal sort of tag matches because if you're in the ring and you go out, another member of your team can just come in, and that keeps it so fast and so brilliant. Chavo does get the pin, but then Parker just comes out and goes, it's now time for me to take this match back for myself. And he clonks everyone on the head with a steel chair, and then he turns on his own team and begins hitting them as well. And there's a bit at the end where I think it's, again, among my top 10 wrestling moments of all time. He sticks the chair under his arm, he sticks his chin up, and he just begins walking out like a little proud fancy boy. And even though he's got a full mask on, it's almost like the mask is smiling, and it's just incredible. I've left Silver King for last as well. Silver King, a guy whose size belied how good he was in the ring. We've seen him a couple of times back in the 90s. He was part of the Pat O'Connor tag team competition in WCW/NWA. So we saw him, I think, in a opening match against the Steiners once, I think. Poor sod.
Silver King 2.
I got to ask you, Ross, how do you tell the difference between Silver King 1 and 2? Which is which?
I've done my research.
Tell me.
Silver King 1's in the ring. He's just a little taller than his partner.
Are you sure that ain't 2?
Wrist lock applied by Jimmy Jam Garvin.
But Silver King, he would have a huge career in Lucha. At this point, by the way, these Mexican guys have all been signed by WCW. They signed them early in the previous year. And most of them will be with the company until 2000. And it will just be used as low-level enhancement talent, basically. They'll have moments where they join Eddie Guerrero's Latino World Order and things, but they never, ever break out. Another example there of Eric Bischoff going, what would be a good idea? Something like the nWo. LWO. Very different. But Silver King, there's a really odd sort of thing that Silver King becomes a key moment of British wrestling history, which is that in 2019 he was wrestling Juventud Guerrera at the Roundhouse in Camden, venue we've been to a lot of times. But I think we'd been to the Roundhouse to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's right, yes. It was the guitarist out of the Red Hot Chili Peppers who kept leaving and then coming back.
John Frusciante.
He was getting interviewed by Lauren Laverne. He was basically saying, I love London, I really want to play some venues. We need to tick some venues off the list. Places like the Roundhouse. And Laverne said, hang on, you're in the Roundhouse? And he went, I'm in the Roundhouse. It's just like, it's good stuff. I'm in the Roundhouse.
But it's an important venue for London. I mean, the Doors played there on a UK show here, Pink Floyd, The Who, at this place.
The Doors Are Open? In the movie The Doors Are Open?
Yeah.
But I thought that was the Roundhouse.
This is the Roundhouse.
The Roundhouse?
Yeah.
Oh. But they don't call it the Roundhouse now or something?
No, they do.
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody told me that.
Yeah, you're here. You're here at the Camden Roundhouse. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Silver King did not have quite as good a time
in the Roundhouse.
I'm afraid.
No,
he unfortunately he died of a heart attack during that match at the age of 51.
Yeah.
One of the rare wrestling mentions in The Guardian that I found. Following an exchange of moves with his opponent Juventud Guerrera, also known as Youth Warrior. Again, should have got someone involved with wrestling to proofread this, because Juventud Guerrera, that is the Spanish for Youth Warrior. So they've treated it like his wrestling name is Youth Warrior and his real name is Juventud Guerrera.
Yeah,
so
it's the same
sloppy, bit sloppy. Following an exchange of moves with his opponent Juventud Guerrera, Baron, which is the surname of Silver King, collapsed on the canvas and did not get back up for about 30 seconds as the referee urged him to return to the choreographed wrestling match. He eventually attempted to stand back up, at which point he was kicked by Guerrera and fell onto his front. Unaware of the nature of the incident, his opponent spent half a minute trying to turn him over before pinning him down and holding up his leg as the referee began slowly counting him out. Again, terminology all over the place there. I shouldn't be using a man's death to have a go at a broadsheet, but here we are. Video footage showed the wrestler was lying still and apparently unconscious for about 2.5 minutes before he was attended to, while Guerrera celebrated. However, none of the first responders appeared to be medical professionals, and witnesses criticised the length of time it took before Baron was treated. It appeared from the video no one initially realised the severity of the condition. The wrestlers began giving him CPR, and the announcer then said, we're going to take a short break. The lights were dimmed, and a couple of minutes later, everyone was told that they had to leave. Even as people were flooding out of the arena, said an eyewitness, there were no professional medical people on stage. People backstage were asking where the first aiders were. This was reported by a photographer who was doing the event. Someone said it was odd. A woman was giving him CPR while he still had his mask on, and then somebody else did it. It was chaotic. They started asking everyone to leave, and we were ushered out as police and ambulances arrived. Everyone was stood in disbelief, but they were unable to resuscitate Silver King, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. A really sad... I feel for wrestlers who are travelling across the world, and this was, if you like, the other side of the world than where he was from.
It's think, heartbreaking, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. You're a long way from home, and you picture, I suppose, to some degree, how you might go. And what you don't think is going to happen to you is that you're going to be somewhere you've never really been before on a random night. He would have been thinking, oh, God, I've got to go up in 5 hours, got to get back on the... And all of those things, it just came to a sudden end for him. And I would say I have to walk through Camden every morning when I go to work. And when I go past the Roundhouse, there used to be a statue of Amy Winehouse on the top, which they've moved into the market. And I do find myself thinking, that would be an excellent place for a statue of Silver King, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm going to start it right here. I think it's disgusting that Camden Council haven't already funded a Silver King statue. Raven taking on Chris Benoit in an Anything Goes match.
Yeah.
I don't get the impression you've seen much Raven.
No, we've seen him being moody and talking in little poems and stuff. And I don't know, man. It's the first time I've seen him move, I think. Because he always just sort of moping about, going, they make me sad.
He comes out and he's got
Society's trying to make me conform, man.
Oh, that's a great bit where he does that, where he goes, once again, society society has tried to make me conform to its rules. He says, they've left me all alone. I've been left alone for weeks as a child. I was friendless at school. Benoit, I don't feel your pain, I'll feast on it. He kind of invented the school shooter, didn't he?
They're kind of like the grunge aesthetic and the AK.
Yeah, the post-Kurt Cobain, pre-emo as well.
Yes.
A lot of youth movements seem to have come out of Raven.
And his flock. Well, his flock is very diverse.
They are.
One is wearing a very S&M-y kind of vest.
Are we talking about Van Hammer?
We might have been. Is that Van Hammer?
Yes, it is. Van
Wow. Well, he was the original
away.
rocker. He was like a poodle rocker, and now he's a man who wears a vest.
Well, he's got a fishnet top. He's got the nipple bits are cut out, and he's got like
so everyone can see his nipples.
Yeah, he's got a nipple ring in, and he's got a soccer mum haircut. And he came in, and I sort of went, okay, I'm listening. Interested in this? What's going on here?
It's such a shit flock. I hate this flock.
It is. They are so unmemorable as a group. I mean, just...
but it is very much like a normal social flock in that you surround yourself with low achievers so you feel better about yourself.
Yeah, and there is something about them which I don't think is intentional, where there's just a big loser vibe about them. It's like you sort of
Dog and the Dweebs. Yeah. It's Rude Dog and the Dweebs, or Top Cat.
You'd see Hammer at a club and you'd be like, this guy looks like he's got it fucking all happening. And within 2 minutes you go, oh, he's just really boring.
Yeah, he's talking about real ill.
Yes. He just started farting. And he didn't seem to know. It's probably because as well, I don't think any of them in real life are outsiders.
No.
They're all jocks. They're jock guys. And they're pretending to how
and then that just makes it more sarcastic. Yeah,
it's almost like they're undercover cops. That's how it feels. And Raven is very good in this role. I think he is a whiner. And there is something about Raven that you do look at him in retrospect, you sort of go, at the time, he must have seemed very, very cool compared to Hulk Hogan, Ray Traylor. He did seem a bit like on...
He is a man who's probably not doing up an old Chevy.
Yes.
Like the generation before, they've got a Chevy and bits on their front yard.
Yeah, and look, I think, and I think it is true from everything, he said in shoot interviews and everything. Raven fucked. He was interested in having sex and going out to places and taking drugs, in a way that I imagine,
no wrestler's ever done before. Yeah.
Oh. And Van Hammer would be like, can I come along? And he'd just be like, oh
you are really
I don't know if we're going to go to somewhere you'd like. I just, are there going to be movies? No, not going to be movies.
Is there anybody like NFL?
Are we going to watch birds? No. No. I think you actually mean flying. No, not at all. No. So Raven is fun. I think this is a good period for Raven as well. He's come off the back of a hot run in ECW where he's been the sort of main event. And he does come through here, and this is a good match, obviously. There's been too many matches where Raven has sort of been difficult and won't do it in storyline.
Yes.
And in this one, the announcer says he is going to have to wrestle tonight.
Yes.
And the crowd don't really care. But when he says, and the flock are banned for ringside, inexplicably, always.
Oh, no,
as soon as you go, get out of here, everyone just goes, woo! Flock hadn't done anything. They just
let
turned
the flock
up.
hang out. You always allow people around the ring.
Yeah. Oh.
Why is it different for the flock?
Do they have a manager's license? That used to be the big thing. You had to have a manager's license.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
So you go, what's Orndorff doing down here? He hasn't got a manager's license.
Managers are licensed.
Yeah. They used to be real. They were actually in the same way that all wrestlers had to be licensed by the athletic commission.
Oh, you had to be.
You had to have a manager's license.
I wanted to study for my manager's exams.
You do occasionally see in great collections of people who've been around since the 60s, as fans, you do see sort of, here's Bruno Sammartino's wrestling license from 60 to 62. There's a good one of Gorilla Monsoon I've seen as well.
Imagine going down the DVLA and just having to redo your bloody manager's license or something.
Again, it's just a great thing of just taking more money from the wrestlers. You got this lovely thing of just a legitimate sports board going, we're going to need $40 off every wrestler.
Are you planning on wearing shoes?
Yeah.
We've got a pretty heavy...
You your height seems different from what you put in the license. You're going to have to reapply, Sean. It's another $40. This is matches against Benoit as well. Out comes Chris Benoit. And he's in his sort of leather Canadian cowboy waistcoat. It breaks my heart a bit that Benoit does come out and he's the great, part of his gimmick is that he isn't really gimmicky.
Yeah.
But he's got this little waistcoat that's got a little fringe sort of on the pocket.
Razzle dazzle.
And he's looked at that and he has gone, I hope that isn't too showy. And it's his sense of going, but I've got to give the people value for money.
Yes.
It's
this is show business after all.
It's a little bit tragic. Raven not coming out with music, I actually think as well, is the antithesis of show business. It did annoy me. He's give him
he
some
likes
grunge.
music.
He obviously
likes music. He hangs around with a man with a nipple ring, for crying out loud.
Exactly. Give us a little bit of shazazz. You can lay out a number of accolades about Chris Benoit, says Dusty Rhodes. Lots and lots of signs as well in this match from the crowd. Benoit's boys with a Z.
Yes, I saw that. That was
everyone fears Benoit.
Yeah.
That is again an unfortunate thing of looking back, years after the horrors. That every single sign you see about Benoit, you always go, "Oh, it's as if they know."
What would be a positive, okay one though? There's very few things you can say that if you go, well,
Chris Benoit. Just Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit. That would do.
You still wouldn't want to see it though, would you?
No. He's certainly glad no one had it tattooed on them.
Any normal person would have known when enough's enough. But Chris Benoit is a masochist. He has serious psychological damage.
This is an ECW match done at a really high level.
Right.
Benoit obviously had a bit of time in ECW. Raven is coming through and he needs to be able to do these sorts of matches to get over in WCW. And they go really fast.
It's Raven's rules.
It's Raven's rules.
It's a Raven's rules match.
How has Raven got so much sway that he's managed to sort of go, that is an accepted, sanctioned match? I'm society always wants me to... Well, there's you labelling stuff, mate.
Well, and you're making people conform to your Raven's rules. Rules shouldn't apply to Raven. Raven shouldn't have rules.
Bet if you asked Raven about this now, he'd say, that's the whole point. I was a hypocrite.
You are retconning that. That did not happen.
It's exactly what an old man would think about someone who was into grunge who then later got married and they'd go, oh yeah, see, all a sham. Oh, sorry, Kurt Cobain's a millionaire.
Oh, actually, punk rock is about selling out.
Yeah.
You don't want to live in a bin.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit about The Fall this morning to sort of like wake up. I was tired. And it did mention the famous thing that Mark Riley, later the Radio 1 DJ, he was fired from The Fall. Recollections vary.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that Marky Smith, the lead singer, had seen him dance to The Clash in a nightclub. So angry, he just fired him. I really like that.
How did those contractual... Imagine if someone took Marky Smith to court and go, no, this is not acceptable.
Yeah. I think being fired from The Fall, you just go, oh, thank God that's over. What a relief. What a relief. Benoit, does a really good diving headbutt on this as well. And they have a good bit where he's sort of done it so hard that he basically knocks himself out and he gets covered and gets a sort of 2 on him. And I did look at that and I did sort of think, I bet that's been screened a lot of times in lawyers' offices where they're just basically going, this is Exhibit A, as to why his brain was effectively eggs, scrambled eggs by the end. An eye for an eye, says Bobby Heenan at one point when they have a bit of back and forth with the chair. And then Tony Schiavone goes, a noggin for a noggin. And then Dusty Rhodes goes, a feet for feet. Just a line that gets
Get
worse.
more people. I want to see how bad this can get.
Benoit reverses Raven.
Oh, there you go. You take a seat. You take a seat. You take a seat.
An eye for an eye. And even a noggin for a noggin.
And a seat for a seat. They both got seats now.
Absolutely great.
A chair for a chair.
Structure that you sit on for a structure that you sit on.
A compound of atoms. Fucking hell. Dusty.
Raven ends up passing out in Benoit's crossface. And it's actually quite refreshing to have a Raven's Rules match where you've sort of gone and the flock are here, where it ends without any interference.
Yeah.
It's making people go, I hope this isn't going to be ruined.
Yeah.
And then getting to the end and going, oh, it wasn't. That is also a little bit of a lift. And out come the flock at at the end, and Dean Malenko runs to help out Benoit. Malenko always had a sense of, I wear the clothes of someone 20 or 30 years older than me. And whenever you see him in those things, he always turns up and he looks like a wrestler from the 70s.
Yes.
And it's sort of a charming little thing, which I don't think he'd actually thought about. I think he just liked those old clothes. JJ Dillon comes out with Mean Gene, and what we're getting here now is the start of a new form of wrestling. And this new form of wrestling is one that needs so much explaining because things have gone so complex and wrong that 7 people need to explain it for the next half an hour.
Honestly, man, WCW just love a pencil-necked geek just appearing in a suit doing admin. They always have.
And JJ Dillon's only job in this is to basically say, welcome Roddy Piper, who'll explain this. He doesn't need to be there. Gene could have said, ladies and gentlemen, Roddy Piper, and Piper would have come out and done the explanation as to what's going on. The only thing I did like, JJ Dillon does say to Gene sort of goes, we've got to get all this sorted out. And Dillon just says, oh yeah, well, you know, suddenly what's going on really isn't popular. And the two of them both laugh. And they laugh because that's putting it mildly.
Right.
You know, they have done an angle that is so unpopular, that it's just gone so wrong. And the two of them just got going,
it's been a hellish week.
What a absolute shit tip we've created for ourselves. Piper, who is at this point the WCW commissioner, comes out and he says, well, there's going to be a rematch between Hogan and Sting for the belt that will take place in February. Again, should have done it on this show.
Yeah, so they're so kind of like watching them vacuum effectively. They have to tidy up a load of loose ends, and they're basically saying, watch on this pay-per-view, we will explain what the loose ends are getting tidied up. Yeah. How are they getting tidied up? It's like, you fuck this. Yeah. You are using your unfucking as a bit of a sell for tickets.
And the worst thing about that is they should have addressed this immediately. And they should have gone, next pay-per-view, get this done. And instead, what they've done is they've gone, we will put this bit all together and that will be an extra bit. And actually, then next month, we just get it sorted.
Get it done.
And the fact that this belt, which had such a long lineage and was so important in WCW, had been the focal point of the promotion since the 50s.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's going to be vacant for 2.5 months. Just, again, the problems. Piper, when he comes out, I mean, we are very much in that miserable Piper era at the minute. And he comes out like someone slipped him heavy sedatives. Like, he comes out and he's sort of like marveling, sort of, where am I? What are all these people doing here?
So that was his thing for a long time.
It was. It's a pain. A man's man right there, says Dusty. We need more of them. We don't. We don't. Middle-aged man in a t-shirt that I've spotted in the crowd as well. And he had a t-shirt and I could read the top bit and it said, if it has tits, it said, right? Another man we don't need more of.
Respect it.
And I was just like, oh, I am going to watch this like a hawk. Anyway, I saw a bit more later and you could see it said, if it has tits or tires. Right? And I was like,
right, okay. So he likes cars and women. Right,
so I Googled it, and there are 2 variations of that shirt. If it has tits or tyres, I can make it squeal. Or if it has tits or tyres, it's going to cost you money.
You don't know. You're looking into his face trying to figure out which one it's going to be.
I hope it's the second. I think it was the first. In some of these sections as well, with your JJ Dillon, your Gene, and your Hogan and your Piper, you are sort of going, oh, this is creaking.
Yes.
You look at WWF at this time, Austin, and Austin does seem like a man in his 30s, not a man in his 50s. And you could, all the little problems that will come out later, you can see dotted through here.
And you could definitely put your finger on the fact that Roddy sounds like 1,000,000 years old when he uses "nat."
Oh,
that was so hot back then, wasn't it?
Nobody can deny your track record. So I think it is my job as fair man to take this belt.
He's not going to do
put
this.
It around your waist. Not!
Yes!
Denied.
1991 was when Wayne's World came out.
Yeah.
And it's just, oh my God. This
Not
is...
for the first time, Hogan will refuse to sell it.
Yeah. I thought Hogan was quite good in this because Hogan is just continually going, when's you going to talk about my belt? Which I liked as my favourite bit. There's a couple of bits, but Sting is brought to the ring and Sting, there's a bit where Hogan and Bischoff come out. The camera cuts to Sting and Sting's looking at them and then he just looks at the floor like he's a bit like, oh, I really hate them and now they're coming out and they're going to bully me. And I really liked it as a sort of, oh, these guys. And then there's a lovely bit where Gene, for some reason, when they're coming down, because they almost know, oh, it's the NWO and they take an age to get to the ring, Gene is on the mic and he keeps commentating, even though it's being heard in the arena.
Here's the naughty boys of wrestling. Oh my
Look at that. He says, Hogan, so slow. It's like he's picking up the tab for dinner or drinks. He says, and I like it that Gene is sort of like, I said dinner, which is what I have, but it's supposed to be cool now. So what if it was just drinks? Imagine just drinks.
Just drinks.
I think Gene probably did just have drinks, but I don't think.
Yeah, I think
he had some on his own.
If you watched
Legends House,
and he's making really strong drinks for a pussycat girl.
The
Are you trying to get me drunk? No.
It's a little strong, though.
You said this is a little strong?
Yeah, a little strong. Okay.
Oh, no, that's just right.
Okay.
It was all in good fun, and I certainly hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. If I did, f*** them.
Piper is amazingly coherent in this section, which he wasn't always. And he does manage to get what is a very complex bit of storyline done really efficiently and really well. And when he doesn't give Hogan the belt, he then shouts, "Tradition bites!" which is a sort of NWO catchphase.
Right.
And it's just bit you in the bum, he says.
Bum. Oh, yeah, because he's Scottish. He has to say bum.
Superbrawl! You fight all night, that's the way it is. You said it yourself. Tradition bites! Baby, it's just bit you in the bum.
Oh, man. That's my belt. What's wrong with Scott Hall? I
don't know, man. I don't know if that is the first use of "in the bum" as a phrase in wrestling. It would normally be "in the butt." So I did I thought that was great. And I did look at this and I did think, you can sort of see why Sting had a long career, can't you? Because in this show, all he has to do is turn up to this and he goes, "Yeah, my character doesn't really speak." And he just stands there, he looks around, and then he goes back. All he's had to do is turn up and paint his face.
Was there a bit of crotch chopping that